Hello and welcome to State of the Economy. Today we have as our special guest Ashwini Mahajan, who is co-convenor of the Swadeshi Jagran Manch, which is an economic think tank of the RSS, and it's been doing a lot of work in the area of developing a Swadeshi based economy, and its voice is heard by this government, given that BJP itself is part of the broader Sangh Parivar. And in recent weeks, Swadeshi Jagran Manch has been in the news for its very active advocacy of the big announcement made by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, where he has talked about bringing a national law to make generic medicines, medicines which are off patents, make them affordable in the non-branded category, because it has been seen that for treatment of several diseases like cancer, hepatitis, diabetes, etc., the price difference between what is branded, sold by multinationals as well as Indian companies, and what is generic, which is not non-branded, sometimes is 70–80%. For instance, cancer medicines which are in the generic domain, they cost more than ₹1,00,000 a month for treatment, whereas in the branded cancer medicines costs more than ₹1,00,000 a month, whereas a generic equivalent, a similar generic equivalent would cost ₹10,000 or thereabouts. So this is a very critical issue which Swadeshi Jagran Manch has also pitched and in a big way, and in some ways it is also fighting arms of the government, which according to it are seen as supporting the multinationals and the branded drug companies. So to discuss that and tell us more about what they are doing about it, we have Mr. Ashwini Mahajan with us today. Welcome to this show, Mr. Ashwini Mahajan. Tell us, you recently wrote a letter to the Prime Minister about this issue. Now, what exactly are you seeking from the government, and what are your suspicions? You've said that some arms of the government don't seem to be strictly following the spirit of the Prime Minister's announcement. Could you just tell us what's going on? Yeah,
exactly. In fact, the history of drug price control, which we are referring to, goes back to the earlier days when under Essential Commodities Act, about 376 drugs were under the price control, and prices were determined as per the cost of production. So it was cost plus pricing.
Yeah.
The previous UPA government successively reduced the number of drugs in this list.
In the cost plus pricing.
Yeah.
And cost plus pricing was to ensure that they are sold at very affordable prices.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, without much of a profit. And ultimately, that list was down to zero. At that point of time, health activists and many organizations,
including yours,
not our organization, but generally civil society organizations, they approached court that this is not good, because government should, because
anti-people in some sense.
Yeah, you see, if essential drugs are not under the price control, how can a poor man get himself treated? So at that point of time, court intervened and asked the government to come out with that list. They somehow postponed every time, and ultimately when the court told them that you have to come out with a policy, then they came out with a policy of drug price control, which was market based. And all those companies with 1% share or or more share in the market, the average price was taken. So that was not according to us and according to others, those who were
again
fighting
moving away from the cost plus formula.
that was moving away from the cost plus formula, and hardly 10 to 15% benefit in the price was given to the consumers. That was not good. Then it went on, and now the matter is in the court.
It is still in the court?
Yeah. To decide about the formula, to decide about how to really control the prices of the essential drugs.
Meanwhile, PM has talked about a national law.
Yeah.
So if you have a national law, then the court case would become infructuous, right?
Not exactly. In fact, national law is about the doctors writing the generic drugs,
Okay.
and there should not be any exploitation of the consumer or the patients in this case.
They should write generic prescriptions.
They should write generic prescriptions, and accordingly the customer has the right, and an environment, enabling environment is provided.
Ecosystem should be created.
Yeah.
So that customer could go and buy a generic similar which costs much less than the branded one. Right?
Exactly, exactly. So in the meanwhile, now another game started. That started in 2016, when under the influence of the pharma companies, big pharma majors,
yeah.
Secretaries of different ministries.
This would be both multinational and Indian pharma companies. Yeah.
So secretaries of the ministries, along with the Niti Aayog, they started talking about a kind of environment whereby companies should not be put at loss.
Okay.
And they came out with a proposal that there is an agency of the government, and in fact autonomous body, NPPA, National Pharmaceutical
Pricing Authority.
So they decided that why not dismantle this, so that the authority which is capping the prices of essential drugs, which is capping the prices of the essential implants, and trying to, as we have seen in the case of stent pricing, Prime Minister's intervention has been very fruitful. I must thank the Minister Anant Kumar, and
stent pricing also there was a High Court order in a public interest litigation which ordered that the stent prices should be reduced. No?
Yeah, I am coming to that. So then Rajya Sabha committee, of which the chairman of the Rajya Sabha committee, Prabhat Jha ji, all of them, they came together, and ultimately stent prices were reduced to hardly 30,000 from 1,25,000
per stent.
Yeah. So now this NPPA was doing a good work, but it was not being liked by the pharma companies and big pharma majors. Therefore, it was decided at the level of the Niti Aayog and these secretaries that we should recommend for dismantling this NPPA.
Okay.
So at that point of time,
what is the logic for dismantling?
Their argument is that we are in the process of inviting FDI in pharma sector. We want to provide an enabling environment for the big pharma companies, so that they can come and produce more drugs over here and all. We forget this, that at this point of time we are producing the cheapest drugs all over the world. We are exporting to 200 countries. And we are the third largest drugs producing country of the world.
Sure. If I remember right, the African heads of state who were in India, I think a year ago, they told the Prime Minister that India was a leader in the manufacture of generic drugs, and they were exporting a lot of cheap drugs to Africa, and they requested aimed that India should not abandon this policy, right?
AIDS is a big problem in Africa, and African countries, they requested us to produce more of generic AIDS drugs, and we provided those drugs at the price of hardly $300 per annum. And whereas the same drugs were costing them $12,000. So
branded variety imported from the US, right?
So it's not just African countries. When American president came here, he also made several agreements with us for the supply of generic drugs for the American people. So it is in fact,
in fact, 30% of the American market is Indian generics. Right?
Here what I am trying to tell you here is, it is not America versus India. When we talk of generic drugs, when we talk of control on drug prices, when we talk of provision of cheap drugs, cheap health facilities, it is not a fight between India and US.
It's global companies versus...
It is a fight between the poor masses of India, US, Africa, in all the countries of the world versus the pharma majors versus the multinational corporations. This is actually the fight. And in this fight, we are...
It transcends nationalities.
We are with the poor masses all over the world. You see, this is not just a trade whereby we say that we are supplying cheaper drugs, generic drugs to 200 countries. It is not that only. It is our moral responsibility, human responsibility of India to provide cheaper drugs all over the world. As I have just mentioned about one case.
Yeah, I got your point, Ashwini. If that is the case, which I agree with you, nobody can quarrel with whatever you just said. Why is it that certain sections of the government, as Swadeshi Jagran Manch itself has stated in a letter to the Prime Minister, are not on board, do not support fully these views? And this is not just Niti Aayog, you also mentioned the Ministry of Health, you also mentioned Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion. They are linking, they're saying, essentially what they're saying is that if you, instead of giving affordable drugs to the poor consumer, if you also help the pharma companies earn higher profits, you will get more FDI. They're linking foreign investment to that. That is number one. And there is also a lot of pressure on India to, in some ways, to tweak patent procedures. We have a good patents law. So by tweaking procedures, there is a move to delay, drugs coming off patents and quickly being manufactured as generics at a much cheaper cost by Indian companies. So, so these things are going on in the government. So, what response did you get from the PMO on this?
Again, on this issue, there is a big history behind it. In fact, when Swadeshi Jagran Manch was in its nascent state, from that point only, we have started fighting against the multinational pharma companies, betting for the strong patent regime in their favor.
Yeah.
I would like to remind you of the original Amendment Act to 1970 Patent Act, original bill. In that bill, it was all tilted in favor of the multinational corporations. It was not giving us any relief in terms of generic drugs. Had we been going according to the original bill, we could not have produced any generic drugs.
But all that changed, right?
All that changed
because of pressure from below, and also I must say the left on this issue, left and
right, all
they came together on this issue, right?
In fact, I still remember a committee of parliamentarians, in fact non-official, in fact it was a group of parliamentarians under the leadership of Murli Manohar Joshi ji, and
This was
many
when UPA was in power,
yeah, many left and even Congress members were there in that format, and in fact we fought against this, and at least 3-4 provisions were made. One was about 3D.
Yeah, that's
Another
famous.
Another 3D, according to which now
Compulsory licensing.
not second is compulsory licensing. Third is pre-grant opposition. Fourth is about the generic drugs. And all these provisions were included in Indian Patent Act, and Indian Patent Act, I must take the I must tell you that our Patent Act after WTO, our Patent Act was good before WTO, but after WTO our Patent Act is one of the best patent acts in the world. So
in a sense, on this, there was a consensus across parties.
Yeah, and now
tell me, on
you see, precious
on the generics, एक सवाल लोग फार्मा लॉबी उठा रही हैं कि क्वालिटी पे असर पड़ेगा. तो ये क्वालिटी का खौफ, why are they spreading the scare about quality?
This is all wrong, because if you look at the production of generic drugs, they are already off patent.
Yeah, exactly.
So the quality, the R&D, etc., they do not come here. The question doesn't arise. So these companies, they have always been in the habit, and you see, recently some newspaper wrote an editorial against Swadeshi, Jagran, Manch, raising all these issues. I asked them on my Twitter that these are the arguments which were given 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And you have been using these arguments in these pink papers right from that day onwards. Nothing has happened. You come out with certain concrete things and come out for debate. See, writing editorials and betting for the pharma companies, even if it is by the media or it is by the secretaries or by Niti Aayog, is not acceptable to us.
Tell me, Ashwini,
they are being paid, whether it is Niti Aayog or it is secretaries of the government. They are being paid out of the taxpayers' money.
You've said that Niti Aayog is kind of batting for the global companies, the branded companies. Why is that? Isn't Niti Aayog part of the government?
Niti Aayog is not part of the government. They are a think tank.
Okay, I know. But you also said that some other ministries.
Yeah, they have the right to give their opinion, but our point is, we have always been raising, whether it is GM or it is public health, we have always been raising this issue that you come out with a policy and you come out with debates, and why and under what circumstances Niti Aayog was constituted. Niti Aayog was constituted to take more opinions, create more debate. It is not that Niti Aayog can sit in the closed door meeting.
But you're saying that they're influencing the view, and some ministries are supporting Niti Aayog's views. That you also mentioned that. Yeah.
In fact, these are the secretaries. I'm not saying ministries. There is a political, there is a distinction.
I know.
Political
but
class,
the secretary is the head of the ministry, no?
No, political class headed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, they have certain views about public health. They have certain views about provision of.
So this is the question I'm asking. So why are the secretaries going against the spirit of what you just said, the broader public policy view which is coming from the very top?
See, if I had the answer, I would not have written letter to the Prime Minister.
So I thought you might have got a reply.
So, the circumstances compelled us that this thing is happening.
Do you think that the PM is also encouraging this debate?
They are not in sync with the. I don't think so. They are not in sync with the. He is working very hard, and he tries to make every day. To go ahead with the public welfare.
Maybe he's encouraging a debate only to sort of not to push it.
I don't think
not ram it down people's throats.
I don't think so. In fact, I think it's other way around. These without creating any debate, these institutions are trying to include certain matters in the government decision making, because they know that decisions are ultimately rooted through them.
Okay.
Therefore, it is an attempt to make certain, and in the name of FDI, in the name of investment. So these are very old arguments.
In the name of quality,
and our quality is quite good. Our companies can produce, and in fact, let me come to the case of a stunt. When I looked at the
used for the heart,
coronary stents, I'm talking about. When I looked into the data, import data, I found the best types of stents were being imported at the price of 12,400 rupees per stent.
Then where does the markup come to 1 lakh rupees?
And the non-drug eluting stents, they were being imported at the price of 4,500. These are the data of the custom department.
Okay.
4,000
and 15,000, 14,000,
12,000.
Okay, 4,000, 12,000 are the two levels. Okay.
Two levels, and the same stent was being sold. Everybody was very happy. Secretaries were very happy. No secretaries raised this issue. So when they are being paid, and rather in some sections of the bureaucracy, they tried to stop it.
Okay.
And they didn't raise any issue for years together, for decades together. The public was being exploited. Now, when this stent prices have come down, now this issue these issues are being raised.
So you saying that the bureaucratic elite,
these companies
was aligned with the pharma
Let me
companies.
complete. Now a situation is being created that these companies may withdraw. I must tell you that Indians are very much able to, Indian companies are very much able to produce these stents.
Can a public sector organization do it, like IDPL? Can it be revived?
Public sector organizations, we have to really look into this.
Actually, why? Because Kerala and Tamil Nadu and Rajasthan, I am told 3 states have implemented this successfully through government procurement of generics, good quality generics,
it's not just we can't limit this to only these 3 states.
No, I'm saying these 3 have already happened.
No, Jan Aushadhi was first started by Rajasthan.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying Rajasthan,
and
Kerala, and Tamil
Madhya
Nadu.
Pradesh, all these states are already doing it in government procurement, and especially I hear when you have mentioned about the public sector undertakings, some public sector undertakings are being closed down because they are not earning much profit. But under the circumstances, when the country is very much, the nation is very much dependent on APIs, the raw material for drugs, we are very much dependent on the supplies from China, and this is not very much advisable to have so much of dependence.
So you feel public sector should be revived?
We can revive those 6 units also, because they have land, they have other expertise also. They can be revived, and these APIs can be produced here in India.
Okay, then these public sector can supply at the national and state level, and through the government distribution channels.
Here again, I would like to mention Niti Aayog, because Niti Aayog has blindly said these companies are not earning much profit, and they are incurring losses, and they are a burden on the exchequer. So therefore, they should be closed down. But we have to look at a larger picture, and in fact, that was the very reason why Niti Aayog was constituted, to see a larger picture of the economy. Not just anybody can see. If you have data about the prices, about the profits of different public sector undertakings, these undertakings are earning profits, so let them go ahead. Others are not earning profits. But we have to look at the larger picture, that these public sector undertakings can, and in fact we have mentioned this while in our discussions in the pre-budget discussions with finance minister also. We have suggested that we must look into these public sector undertakings, especially from the point of view of APIs.
So we're just running out of, we've just run out of time. That's a good suggestion that, to end with, that revive PSUs which can produce cheaper generics for the people. Thank you very much for talking to us. And that's all we have in this edition of State of the Economy.
Thank you.
We'll be back with you next week. Thanks for watching.